Curiosity's birthday? Why?
Because they are boring.
Right?
Because perseverance is the new hotness.
Yeah.
This is where the cool kids hang out.
So hang on, so is that just like random confetti that's going over Curiosity?
That's oh, it's not. Hang on, wrong screen. That is a YouTube embedded URL which is looping.
Oh, I can show you. Here you go.
Inside of OBS, and I've chroma keyed out the background.
Which is what makes this for the celebration of Curiosity's birthday. Birthday of landing, birthday of birth, like what landing?
Birthday of landing.
So landing day.
Landing day. A decade
which is
on
August 6th. It's August 6th UTC, August 5th Pacific, so it's right for both of us.
Also, I want to point out I'm wearing pants today, so we don't have to worry about the skirt issues that I've had for the last couple of weeks.
I'm wearing pants too.
Yeah, I know. We all have pants.
But I have full pants on, even though you cannot see anything.
So Jared, you said there were some things that you wanted to actually. Ryan, we normally start with you, Jared, don't we?
I don't know. I don't know.
Let's start with Ryan. I don't think we've normally start with Ryan. Ryan?
Yeah, let's put Ryan in the hot seat.
Let's put you in the hot seat.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks.
Kick it
Greatly
up.
appreciated.
Well, first off, hang on. You can start with is Curiosity's birthday.
It is Curiosity's birthday. As you can see on this 100% not green screen behind me, it is Curiosity's birthday.
Ryan, I just need to make sure that confetti, did you get that confetti clean? Because we cannot contaminate Mars. You have to get rid of everything from Earth on that confetti. Did you clean it? Did you follow planetary protection protocol for that?
You're not following planetary protection protocol, Ryan.
Like,
what's going on?
Okay to take a bunch of confetti with you to Mars, but it needs to be at what is it, class 5 or something?
Yeah, you gotta
protection.
You gotta
level?
radiate it and heat it.
Yeah, the cruise of 9
wait,
months to
hang
Mars
on,
is not enough.
No, the confetti is going off. It's like in a loop, right? So it's going off in a bubble. So it's in a bubble that the camera's shooting through. So
okay,
so we're okay. No contamination.
Well, you know what's cool about that is if you do something like that, you still have to decontaminate it anyhow. So hopefully you did. So if not, Ryan, we're in a lot of trouble.
We will discuss this matter once we're off the air.
I will have to take my shirt off because these people will be very mad at us. So
let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not flashbang.
So Ryan,
our audience.
Stories, Ryan.
So. Now the show is completely off the rails, and we're 2 minutes in.
Sorry.
I want to talk about launches, because launches last week, very specifically on one day, was absolutely insane. We had 2 from the Cape, we had 2 from China, we had 1 from New Zealand, and we had 1 that doesn't really count. So Jamie, if you want to go to blue, there we go.
You just want to show off your pretty graphic.
I know I do. So I made a graphic-y thing and I put it on my Twitter, which you should totally follow, by the way. And so you can see on the I made this very late at night. So the first one I put the rocket type, and the rest I put the mission name. So the first one was Tekis or Thesis, or however you want to pronounce it. It's TECIS. That launched on a Long March 4B at 3:10 in the morning, UTC. Then we had Antipodean Adventure on an Electron from the Mahia Peninsula in New Zealand at 5 o'clock in the morning. We then, very early for people in the east and west coast of the US, Spurs Geo 6 at 10:29 UTC on the last 4-meter Atlas V we will ever see flying from the Cape. Big sad, it's my favorite variant. I just think it looks better than the 5-meter. We then had NS-22, Blue Origin's 22nd Shepherd flight.
Is that a 4-meter?
That was at 1:30.
Which one?
On the New Shepard, which fairing is that? Because that's my least favorite fairing.
Wait, on New Shepard, they have multiple fairings on New Shepard? No. Okay, I was very confused.
And then we had the top secret, but kind of we know about it, Chinese reusable space plane that launched that was suspected to have launched at 4:30 UTC in the afternoon. And then we rounded out the day with the second launch from the Cape, KPLO, which is the Korean Pathfinder Lunar Orbiter. That launched at 11:08 UTC at night on a Falcon 9. And that rounded up the day. And it also set a brand new world record. Very well timed by me. The most orbital launches in one UTC day ever, which was 5 launches that successfully ended up in orbit. And this broke the record that was first set on the 14th of February 1989, which saw 2 launches from the Soviet Union and 1 launch of the Delta II from the US. This record has been matched several times since then, but this is when it was set. So a record which has been standing for over 30 years has finally been broken. And it was broken before KPLO even launched. So if the Falcon 9 did have to scrub, the record would have still been broken. But it's been broken by 2 launches now, which is
nice.
A lot of launches.
Step it up, world.
Ryan, I do want to give you kudos because you posted all of those images to your Twitter account, right? And
yes.
In order for you to promote your own Twitter account on the show, you, rather than show the images full screen, did you go to your own Twitter account and then highlight the images from your Twitter account on the screen so that we would all see your Twitter username?
I might have done that. Yes, I might have done that.
I just want to say, well played. Well played. What for those who want to follow Ryan, because you should, what is your Twitter handle? Let's everyone try to get him like a ton of new followers. So
yeah.
Listen
I could put it on this totally real screen behind me.
Yeah, put it on the screen, totally real screen behind you. Absolutely.
I'm going to put it on a totally real screen behind me.
You should
so
absolutely
I can do that.
Absolutely. And then I'll tweet it out later today.
Sorry,
as well.
And you should put some confetti there with it too.
Yeah, we'll just stop the show.
Yeah, we're just waiting.
Ryan, that's way too small.
No
it's
big.
hard to read. Follow me on Twitter at dpoddolphinpro.
Don't you have like an underscore in it? Oh, this is beautiful watching that happen live.
So I love everything that's going on with the confetti. And it's not D-Pod Dolphin. It's D-Pod Dolphin Pro. It's the professional dolphin.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Make sure you go for the professional dolphin. Right.
That's fantastic.
And now my watch is going crazy because everyone's following me. Thanks, Jamie.
So
imagine we just throw all of our Twitter handles out there.
Sure. What's your Twitter handle?
Jared Head.
And I'm Photon Empress. So imagine if we were still doing launch coverage. Because for those who don't know, we started as Space Vidcast, over a decade ago. We started by doing space shuttle launch coverage on the internet, and we would try to cover. We actually had like satellite dishes in our house, like the big, huge C-band ones. Like it was pretty cool. This stands for C-band. When I do this,
C-band.
We had KU. I think we had con.
This is KU band.
No, KU band is more like this. More like
nice.
Like that.
And then is this X band?
Okay. So we had all of these dishes, and we would try to cover as many launches as we could because, even if you covered every launch provider in the world, it was still like maybe one a week, maybe. And then we did the whole interactive thing. But can you imagine if Ryan was trying to cover every single one of those launches live on the YouTube channel or on the TMRO YouTube channel?
We'd have to do like a marathon. Like
that'd be really fun, and we'd also need some kind of Starship point-to-point transport because there's no way I'm going from China to New Zealand to the Cape to Texas, back to China, and then back to the Cape in the span of 24 hours.
No, but we didn't actually show up for all of them. Like we would rebroadcast them in studio, right? So we would grab their feeds from the satellite and then just rebroadcast it out, with the exception of shuttle, which not all of them we showed up to. We only showed up to a few shuttle missions. And then even then, we still had people back in Minnesota because that's back when we were out of Crow River Coffee. So we'd have Calf in Minnesota, and he would mix in the full HD shuttle coverage. So it was actually being switched from Minnesota, and then we would broadcast our feed from the press site to Minnesota, which would then broadcast anyhow.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a whole big shtick.
Yowza.
Yeah, I'm just thinking to myself like, well, who would be crazy enough to try to do that? I'm not sure if they did. NASA Spaceflight.
Yeah.
Anyone know if NASA Spaceflight tried to rebroadcast any of those or all of
it?
those? Or who
they did NASA Spaceflight only like broadcasting when they can get a camera there. So they only did Spurs and KPLO, but that's still 2 Cape launches in one day,
hang on.
which is like a lot.
No, the other one that might have tried to do it, the launch pad. Right?
Possibly.
Right? Possibly the launch pad may have tried to do it.
I'm gonna look. Look.
That's another one to follow.
We can't get a live stream out of China. I just know you can't.
We're just gonna watch. We're gonna watch Ryan watch.
Oh, with enough power, we could get a live stream out of China. Trust me.
Well, they don't give us
We got
one.
Artemis.
We could get
so
like
they did
a Honda generator.
They did them all. They did NROL and Spurs and Miss 22 and Kaplo. Well
That's
done.
amazing. That's amazing. Well done, Launchpad. Well done. You deserve a nap. Jared,
Rest yourself.
Jared, what have you got for us today?
Oh, I got some more J-Dub.
Oh, that's
right?
me. That's my camera. That's not where I wanted to go.
Yeah, no, not at all. In fact, now you're where you should be. But I got more of the JWST. Just waiting and getting some new images from it. But one of the things that I do want to talk about here, once I can get this good. Thanks. Working with that.
Just making you awkwardly show you try to use a computer.
Yeah, it's a
You're
lot
welcome.
harder than people think it is. On air when the pressure's on.
Do you feel pressured, Jared?
Let me tell you, this is the internet. If you do something wrong, it's forever. So
that is true, but it's like, with rare exception, with our community, it's forever in like the best, most awesome sort of way.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so good. So whenever we mess up, it's all for you. Anyways, back to something else that also had a little bit of a mess up, but not too big a mess up because it was designed for this kind of a mess up, which was JWST and its micrometeoroid strike. Of course, we heard about that happening back in May. It got hit by a meteoroid that was a lot bigger than they were expecting it to be. And we actually have an image now of the mirror that shows where the strike happened at precisely and how bad the strike was.
Would you say it was image or mirror
well.
C3? Is that Charlie?
It
3?
is, yeah, Charlie.
You know how I could tell is because that mirror, they launched it, and it's weird. They launched it with a white border around.
Yeah,
I don't
isn't
know
that
why.
weird?
They like told the micrometeorite where to hit.
And there's like a teal L coming out of it as
Exactly.
well that you can't really see when you're looking directly at the mirror, but when you're in an oblique view of web. JW, you can actually see it.
That's
there.
just science, Jared.
That's amazing. It's like how we found Pluto. There was a big arrow next to it. So who knew? Who knew?
All right.
But yeah, so there is your nice little individual measurement over on the left right there. That was measuring it on the ground, making sure everything was supposed to be where it was, unlike Hubble. And then over...
Learn that lesson. That's a lesson you learn once and only once.
Yeah, especially when you can't go to it, right? Could you service it? No, you can't. But you'll notice that over on the right side, that is the best mirror alignment that they had in June, which was about a month after the micrometeoroid, or maybe even just a meteoroid strike, for all we know.
Is that big white? I know it's hard to see in you, but that big white dot.
It is indeed the. Oh, well, that worked.
Oh my God. Hang on, I'll give you there. Jeez.
Thanks for that. Yeah, that went pretty well, didn't it? As I show off how good this is doing. So
it's funny. Someone on here said,
me here.
Let's see here. Who is it? Someone's giving us crap here. It was
Joe
says they're Macs. It's understandable.
Sure. Okay.
Oh no, I hit buttons.
A little extra for those members there.
Thanks, members.
Thanks. We'll just put you right after this mistake.
Also, it was like a random membership tile too. It wasn't even like a
mistake
This mistake
was
was
for
brought to
you.
you by the suborbital citizens of tomorrow.
Yeah, like why?
You can contribute today at youtube.com/TMRO.
Why suborbital? Like what? All right. Anyhow.
I don't know.
Take a look. That's where a strike happened at right there, in case you didn't notice.
Oh, it's got an arrow as well.
Yeah, it does. Every once in a while, we can just manifest an arrow out in the aether of space, and there it is. So, yeah. So, obviously, not exactly what you want to have happen, but it was designed with this in mind, so that way you could fix it. Yeah, that'll buff right out. What's over with a wet paper towel? I'm sure it'll be fine. So it's all good. But of course, guess who's going to go out and fix it? Nobody.
Santa.
What's up?
Santa.
Santa could, absolutely. And
who's going to fix it? Nobody.
Nobody. Nobody will fix it.
Part of me, hang on. I just want to say, part of me does love that a micrometeoroid already hit J-Dub.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no servicing, so good luck. We didn't even.
Again, this was part of the design. It was designed to take these strikes from micrometeoroids or meteoroids. Again, we don't.
How many?
know.
Like, what's our concurrent failure rate here? Like,
well, it's already had 6 strikes from what we and that's above what was expected.
Okay.
As well. So, but you've got to remember that each of those mirrors can be individually moved in a multitude of different directions to get the best alignment out of it. So even though this strike happened, it has not affected the optical quality at all.
Jared, that works to a point. I'm just saying, there's a point where you've got so many little nicks in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I know this from experience, because when you have cameras at a launch pad, the lens protection system tends to get, it's great at first.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
You can take a nick or two. You're not going to notice. But then after a few launches, you start to notice.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next...
We will literally see what happens, Jared.
Over the next decade of service.
Assuming we've got that much.
So, but they are trying to figure out, like, should we put it in a different part of the Lagrange point it's at? Should we have it at a little bit of a different angle for impacts or things like that? So they're looking at it right now to see what they can do to mitigate it. But honestly, it does feel like one of those things where they're just going to look at it and say, well, yep, that's happened. Yeah, and Old Gamer Noob actually has a really good one here, which is these strikes don't pose a problem to humans going to Mars, right? Oh, you bet it absolutely does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, any sort of...
And the moon. Like any
moon?
Anywhere.
Yeah, even in low Earth orbit as well,
Even if you're walking around on Earth, there's a chance you might get struck by a meteorite. I mean, it's really, really small, but there's still a chance.
Yes.
That's true, but our atmosphere is going to help to slow that down. I mean, you're not wrong.
But there's still you won't get the micrometeorites, but you still, like, if there's a massive hunk of metal coming towards you, there's not a lot you can do to stop it.
Yeah, you need something actually about the size of our studio, first of all, in order for it to actually have anything make it into the surface.
Jared,
but it's not going to be all that much. So,
Jared, no one knows the size of our studio but you and me.
That's half of the fun, so we could keep them guessing.
I'm like, they don't have context.
Are you guys going to be able to sleep at night now, knowing that there's these objects out there?
Of a size that you cannot determine?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. It's a size that we can't see. So good stuff, right? Is that fantastic? Does that make you feel better? But don't worry. So you sleep at night, and us astronomers will stay up and look for you, hopefully.
Actually, this is a pretty good question, which is, does James Webb have a radar or something to detect approaching debris?
Oh, you know what? Just about that. No, it doesn't. It sure doesn't. Basically, mathematical modeling.
Absolutely not.
Mathematical modeling based upon the distribution of interplanetary dust and other things like that is basically how they figured out what they should do. So, and Tickle Stuff actually has a really good point here, which is that if you could see it, it's too late.
Yeah,
so,
that's fair.
Yeah, a couple miles per second at least. So not a.
Well, also it's relative speed, right? So,
yes.
Which in this particular scenario is probably pretty far apart.
A bit.
Yeah.
A bit. So, although, again, we don't know where the debris came from. We don't know the angle. We don't know the velocity of the strike. We just know it hit.
It's kind of like, it's like, exactly, right? So you got like space station flying overhead at 22,000 kilometers an hour. And, you've got approaching spacecraft. And they're both going at 22,000 kilometers an hour, but the relative speed is very, very slow.
Yeah.
So you could have something similar with James Webb, where you've got a micrometeoroid, and because of its angle of attack or whatever, its relative speed could be pretty slow. But chances are,
that far out,
not so much.
Also depends which
way
Webb's moving in its halo orbit around the Lagrange point out there, and just some other things.
This is a fun one. I'm not going to fact check it either, but a grain of sand can carry the kinetic energy of a train moving at 60 miles an hour.
Sounds about right, if you ask me. So, yeah.
Anyone want to convert that out of freedom units for
freedom units
for the European?
How many bananas of energy is that? So somebody's got to know.
So what you're saying is that James Webb has struck multiple times. Oh wait, actually, let's go back to that.
Yes.
Because there's the dot on the bottom portion of the screen, but then there's another one part way up, right?
Part way up. Whereabouts?
Oh no, that's your mouse. Just kidding.
Yeah. No, it's good. So, nope. That's about that. So, yeah. And then we've got some more imagery that came down, too. Some more pretty pictures from Webb, which means it'll take a little bit for it to load. But this is a great one that they just released, which is the Cartwheel galaxy, because it very much looks like the wheel of a cart. So, and if you want to kind of compare it to Hubble, what Hubble gives us. So here you go. Here is what Hubble does up at the top right there. So you can see things like star forming.
What I'm getting out of that is that whoever does the Hubble stuff prefers blue-green. And whoever does James Webb image processing prefers pinky purpley hues.
Well,
that's the difference. Is like the artists like different colors.
So what we're doing is we're looking at completely different things. So there's different highlights that are occurring here. So with Hubble, you're seeing stars on the outer edge, but you're also seeing a lot of dust on the interior of the Cartwheel galaxy there. So just to kind of point this out, if I could get it. So here's all the dust in this area here.
I love that
we
have to shake our mouse in order for this to work.
We sure do.
It's the most amazing thing ever.
If only you could see what
I don't know why
like.
the NDI broadcasting tool won't. You go up into the menu and you say, hey, show my mouse. And it's like, cool, I'm not going to. Yep.
That's because you use a Mac. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Just keep telling yourself that. And then we can also see this nice little lane with the stars right here. But then we come down to Webb, which first of all, you'll notice that Webb has much better resolution in this area. So like you can resolve things so much better here. And then you can see that it's not just this area here that we're able to resolve detail in. It's also the interior in this area where that dust is at. So really
this is amazing. This is amazing.
This up here. With
you know what?
This
is what the rest of the show is going to be. Just you trying to move the mouse on the screen to highlight things.
So in Hubble, we've got dust, but down in Webb, we actually have the hot gas and the star-forming regions that we can actually see in here. So it's like cutting right through a cloud. I mean, it is cutting through a cloud of dust and gas and other things, and seeing the infrared light coming from these objects. So with that there, and it's just absolutely astounding. I also want to point out too the background over here. Look at Hubble with that background, and then look at Webb's background in this area, and you could just see the difference in terms of what you're able to get in infrared because you're looking deeper, and that's amazing. Like you're not even really trying to do that, but it's just how the instrument works with that. And then I just kind of want to go back a little bit, if this will let me here, to number 3.
I'm watching him struggle with the computer.
For goodness sake.
I'll save you here.
So
I can go to the camera. I should have gone to this camera.
I just put in the correct input to make that happen.
All right, are you ready?
All right, we're officially ready here. So let's go ahead and take a gander at this. And then I grab the full res. So you ready to zoom in?
I want you to zoom in and enhance. Jared.
Okay, here we go. Zoom and enhance.
Enhance.
Oh, we got a data.
Look at that. Oh, my goodness. That is some great data here.
Data, you ready for me to release control back to you?
Look at this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! Look at all of this. Look, we can even see galaxies that are behind the Cartwheel galaxy, and in addition to that, we can even make out the structure of that galaxy. Look, that is a spiral galaxy, and there's the arms of it right there. One arm going that way, and then another arm going up towards the top. That is just ridiculous.
What's interesting to me is all these galaxies seem. All right, Jared, help me understand this.
Sure.
Why are all galaxies like flat? Like why aren't they? So
they're not all flat,
but they look flat, right?
They do. Some do. Well, it's mostly because of just how you're looking at them, right?
Okay, sure.
So,
but they seem like they're generally on most of these galaxies. Forgive my ignorance. They seem they're like on a singular plane, and they kind of go up and down the plane, but they're generally on this singular plane. Now they're all in different angles, different planes,
wildly all over the place.
But they all seem to generally be across one plane, as opposed to what I would expect a three-dimensional ball, right? Like across, an orb, effectively.
The orb.
The orb. Yes, exactly. So are there orb galaxies?
Yes.
And are they called orb galaxies?
Yes, there are. So there's 3 main types of galaxies. There are spiral galaxies, which are like what we're looking at mostly in this picture here, and what the Milky Way is. Milky Way is a spiral. Then there's also subsets of that as well, like a barred spiral, where there's literally a bar in the middle of that galaxy, and then the arms come off of the bar just like that right there. Do
they hit your microphone too? When they
Yes, they sure do. Let me tell you, you got bob and weave a little bit when that's happening with it. And actually, the Milky Way has a bit of a bar towards the center.
Oh, so we're in a barred
So
spiral.
we're in a barred spiral. And another cool thing that we figured out too recently is that our Milky Way is not really actually in a plane, if you will. It's actually bent a little. I can't really do it with my hands.
Is it in a helicopter?
Very well, but it's like woo.
It's like a frisbee with a lip on it.
Yeah, it's like a frisbee, except the lip goes down on one side, and then the other side there's another lip going up.
So someone beat up our galaxy.
So, yeah, actually, you joke about that, but I think last time I read a paper about it, they were thinking that these two smaller galaxies, which actually orbit the Milky Way, called the Large and Small Magellanic Cloud, which are irregular galaxies, are leftovers from
astronomers
that.
need someone to help them with naming.
Yes. So
I'm
sorry.
continually disappointed in astronomy naming conventions. The large and small. Come on.
By the way,
be better. Be better.
The Large Magellanic Cloud is bigger than the Small Magellanic Cloud. It's just the way it works. By the way, if you're in the southern hemisphere, I'm totally jealous of you because you get to see them, and then us in the northern hemisphere, we do not. There's no way for us.
So you talked about spirals and bar, but what about like an orb?
Yes,
like a three-dimensional orb, not like. Right, you know what I mean? Like
yes, a sphere,
approximately a sphere, or like
a spherical
an egg
shape.
Yeah, or eggish,
shape, yeah,
or something
absolutely.
like that. In all dimensions.
Those are typically elliptical galaxies. So now elliptical makes it sound like an ellipse, which for most of us, especially if you're in astrophysics and things like that, an ellipse is just a semi-lopsided circle. So it's a circle that almost was, I guess, is a nicer way of saying it there. But elliptical galaxies absolutely can have a spherical structure to them. Although the thing is, elliptical galaxies tend to be old in terms of structure. So at this point in the universe, we're not really going to be finding elliptical galaxies all over the place. You typically will find elliptical galaxies towards the center of galaxy clusters. And that's because these elliptical galaxies have basically cannibalized galaxies around them and have caused massive amounts of star formation to occur. And now they don't have a lot of dust in them. They don't have a lot of gas in them left over anymore to really do that. So they're kind of, I don't want to say like on their last leg, but they're basically they're old compared to something like a spiral galaxy. That's not to say that spiral galaxies aren't old. It's just that a elliptical galaxy tends to be older in terms of its interaction with everything in its cluster. They've usually interacted a lot more than a spiral galaxy has. And then there's irregular galaxies, which are just like, just formed. So, and that can, could be like we think with the Large and Small Magellanic Clouds, like they could have been galaxies that got close, and then the gravity of the Milky Way just basically ripped them apart. And there's some that have just formed that way. So,
great question from Paul. Why are some celestial bodies named after chocolate products? Now, before you're like, hey, what in the world? Here are some examples. And I was like, what is Paul talking? And then Galaxy Chalk, Mars bars, right?
Milky
Way.
Three Musketeers, Reese's.
Yeah, what's
why are they all named after that? I don't know. I wasn't a part of that meeting of the International Astronomical Union. And actually, much like the vote
as the Council of the Elders.
I was going to say, much like the vote to kick Pluto out of being a planet, really nobody was there to do it. So So there's. I'm just going to throw that shade a little bit at the IAU. Love you guys. Not really, but. But it's. I'm just messing with them. They're all good. I'm not a member of the IAU, so.
Well, not now.
Yeah, no, I guess not anymore. I've lost my membership.
Nor will you ever be.
So yeah, burn him at the stake of the planets. So yeah, good times. So it's I don't. So there are naming conventions for things, but it's usually in terms of planets. Like you will name. You'll name certain moons and other things based on mythology, or areas of the solar system. Things are named based on certain mythologies. So
what'd you call it? The orb
Elliptical
galaxies.
I'm gonna close this.
I like orb galaxies better, but an elliptical galaxy, if we were to record it, it would look like it was basically assuming it was a perfect circle, which I realize is not real. It would look like a perfect circle in your right?
It would kind of look like a Christmas ornament. It's kind of like how I like
to
think of it. Actually, if you get like a big thing of glass and put a whole lot of bubbles in it, you might actually have something that kind of looks like an elliptical galaxy. So they're just galaxies that have essentially lost their arm structure, their spiral arm structure, as they have cannibalized and collided with everything around them. So.
I don't know why, but when you said that, when you go to like one of those used car dealerships and they've got that blow up thing that's like this.
Yeah.
I just imagine that, but like in a windstorm, and so the arms blew up, so it's just kind of like this now.
So it's a wild, wacky, inflatable galaxy.
Exactly.
So okay, I'm for it. We could figure that out, I'm sure. So
someone's totally going to gift that now. And if they weren't, they definitely are now.
I wasn't. Thanks, Ryan. I wasn't thinking that one all the way through. We should get at the end of every show, we should give them like their GIF moment of like, here's 30 seconds of us doing stupid things that you can GIF. All right.
Yeah. By the way, there's even
we need to specify the end of the show for that.
There's even like subclasses of these galaxies as well. So in case you wanted to know,
not really.
So
I was just more curious. Like, no, I mean whenever
I love talking about astronomy stuff with you because you're always just like oh, tell me about this really cool thing, and then I explain it, and then I'm like, you want to know more, and you're like,
no. You told me what I wanted to know. I'm good now.
You've already gone too far.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I feel like when I look at pictures of galaxies, they're all flat.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that way because it's very difficult for us to understand that the picture you're looking at is a three-dimensional image. There's depth to that, right? Like here, I'll pull it back up with it there. Bear with me here, viewers.
Oh my God!
Go through this. Don't worry, I'm being a lot.
You know what? I'm gonna get you a training session on how to use computers.
Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'm glad it's on air. Why don't you put that on my CV while you're at it?
Well, yeah, exactly. You'll be able to add it to your CV. Actually, like had computer training, knows how to open images,
computer training, and housebroken. What more do you want? So let's
knows
take a
Excel
look right here. So you can see we've obviously got the Cartwheel galaxy right here in case you didn't notice it, but we've also got these galaxies right here. I don't know how big they are in terms of that, but I'm willing to there we go.
I'm willing
to bet that they're closer than these galaxies are, which these galaxies are definitely closer than these two galaxies are right here, which are definitely closer than these objects right over here.
No,
so,
the problem, Jerry, is we don't have context in that three-dimensional space.
That is one of the hardest things.
We have no idea if those objects are closer or further. Like one could be ginormous,
yes,
and one could be tiny,
absolutely,
and we have no idea if it's just perspective in that two-dimensional plane.
It's so difficult because. In case anybody wanted to know what it looks like when I try to explain astronomical concepts to Jamie, that's what it is. So, but also it's interestingly enough, that's what I also do when you try to explain how to use a microphone to me. But yeah, actually, we have a huge exhibit at Griffith Observatory that is it's a 150-foot long, 25-foot tall wall that is an image of space that was taken by a telescope. It's like a 20-night exposure image. It's a beautiful image. We call it the big picture because it is. It is actually really difficult to explain that to people that, here's a star that's in our own galaxy. Then here's a galaxy that is 50 million light years away, and then here's a quasar that is so far away that it looks like a point of light. But if we were to fly to it once, just to go once to that quasar, we could fly to this closer galaxy back and forth 60 times. So, and it's just like, it's so difficult to understand that. And I do not blame people at all for not understanding the fact that when you look at an astronomical image, like something from Hubble or something from Webb, there is actual like dimension, like there is depth to this image that you're looking at.
Unrelated, but related. I want to say that I got a tour from you at Griffith, and it was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Like your ability to take these big heady concepts and turn them into something that I could understand, and not only understand but be engaged and entertained by, was incredible. I really enjoyed my time there. And if you're ever in the Los Angeles area and Jared happens to be working and you see him, you have my permission to accost him and ask for a personal tour. Because it will be absolutely incredible and worth every moment.
Yeah,
of it.
come right up to me while I'm on the clock. You know,
yeah,
which
exactly.
Is totally an A-OK thing to do.
And
unlike when I did that with you, where I was off the clock and stayed after because it was a really great night anyhow for viewing. So it was like, of course, we've got to stay for it. So you picked the perfect night for that. So yeah, but you know, I mean, honestly, just say hi and. I want to point this out, which is that people have said hi up at Griffith. You're always welcome to say hello. I even a couple weeks ago had somebody at Domino's Pizza when I stopped in recognize me from the show.
That's
So
neat.
Shout out to the pizza makers out there.
the
Y'all
pizza
are
makers.
the real deal, and I love pizza.
This show is dedicated to the pizza makers.
Blessed are the pizza makers.
I will tell you though, I joke, but like
They make entire galaxies.
my crews run on pizza, so they do.
They're spiral galaxies.
They're spiral galaxies, yeah.
Nice. Although if you mess them up, they could become irregular galaxies.
Well, you just don't want it to be like a bar galaxy. Like if you open it up, like
barred
a bar,
spiral?
it's got
A
like
barred pizza.
Yeah,
all the
right, like-
toppings
like-
have shifted to the middle.
right. It's all kind of exactly. You don't want that.
No,
That's not good.
no,
Yeah.
no.
They rotate at the same rate, which doesn't make sense. So, all right.
They're
well,
still trying to figure out what.
Much like dark matter, there was no humor in that one either. So,
Jared, I have a question for you. I've got it on my screen now. In your honest opinion, is the classification of galaxies or the classification of the different USB standards more complicated to understand?
okay. So show me the classification of the USB standards, please.
Data. You've got
Blue.
it.
Dada's working it.
blue.
I don't see blue.
Let's all
anywhere
wait on
here.
Dada.
Got it.
Okay. Wait, there's this many
Oh yeah.
USBs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. This is why USB-C is so nice.
Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, pull up Galaxies. Did you grab that one?
No, I thought you'd have that one in your
okay,
head. to
well,
be
let me
honest. I
just-
I
I'll
kind of
just
assumed that bit.
All right, give me a second.
All right, I'll give you one of those while we wait.
Okay, give me a second. Yeah, I'm waiting here for the child. Okay, I have to. Well, the hard part is that you have to find a correct one first. So that's the hard bit.
Oh my God.
So
And you should go.
hold on. No.
What?
No.
No. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at.
Here we go. Okay, hold on. I'm still pulling this up. Okay, so this is what Hubble came up with, right? So this is what Edwin Hubble came up with back in the day, which is
That's
like
a lot of telescope.
it's
to do.
okay. It's not bad, right? So like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. By the way, in case you want to know, Milky Way, we're in SB, so we're this one right here. At least during the last study we were. And then you could see ellipticals right here. See, they go from pizza to circular to spherical.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So there you go. I for the life of me, I can't remember what the S in capital B means. So as I show off me remembering my astronomy courses from a long time ago. Anyways, so that's what Edwin Hubble came up with. Ooh, the Sombrero Galaxy. I love it. Sorry. I always get excited when I see the Sombrero
football galaxy.
The
The
football
football
galaxy.
yeah.
Yeah, anyways, let me open this one because I believe this is the newer classification that Spitzer helped do.
Cool.
with
I
this.
I can't.
So
Jared, that hurts my brain.
So it all depends upon things like the structure, the bars that are in it, the bulge that it has. So it just all depends upon what you've got in that area there. So, right? So.
Oh my God.
So it's actually, I mean, once you think about it, it really makes sense. But at the same, it looks overwhelming, but trust me, it's not.
I believe you.
So.
All right, shall we move on?
Which, by the way, I in my schooling, I did not have to deal with that. So
I would fail.
So
at that
if
bit.
anybody shows up and is like, "What's that?" I will look at you and say the standard thing I do when I don't know something, which is I don't know. So,
Ryan, how about you? Back to you.
He
He broke my brain, and so I'm like, no,
sorry.
I want to go back to the fun things that Ryan does.
God, the pizza shape.
Because
is
Ryan's like,
ridiculous.
I things with fire. Or were you?
It's Curiosity's birthday, but we've already talked about that. And there are 5 orbital launches in one day, but we've already talked about that.
How about Artemis? Artemis is coming up, right? Artemis 1.
Yeah,
They're only a
that's
couple
coming up.
weeks out, right?
That's at the end of the month. That's really exciting. And,
Wow.
Are we still looking good for that?
Wow, can you imagine that?
Yeah,
Like
kind of.
the Space Launch System, we're finally in the month it might actually launch.
Okay, let's go around the room.
Wow.
Let's go around the room.
Wow.
What do we think?
No.
Ryan, over under. Well, no, Ryan, yay or nay? It launches this month. Eastern time.
Eastern time.
Eastern time.
Well, no, right?
I was
by the
thinking
last
New
moment,
Zealand Standard Time, actually, or New Zealand Daylight Time.
the last
So-
moment of the last second of the last day of the month. It has to launch by then, but in Eastern time because that's where the
Yeah,
rocket's
but
located.
they have
Oh
3
my
windows, and one of them ends in September.
Good, that's not the question, though. The question is, will it go this month?
Will it go in the first 2 windows, official windows, which they have, which are in this month? I think that there is a 66% chance it will go in the first 2 of 3 windows.
Cheater, okay. I mean, we all see how you got there. Like, there's no like, oh, I wonder how we chose 66%. All right, 66%. Jared?
I think it's going to go in that second launch window. I think they're still going to have some pad gremlins that they're going to have to deal with for their August launch window.
I mean,
at the end of the month.
the final wet dress, they didn't even get properly to the end. They had to officially end it by saying they'd already done this stuff earlier, separately in different bits, which negates the entire point of a wet dress rehearsal because they've already tested everything else before. But whatever.
Yeah, see, I would buy that for some. So I buy that for something like the Sky Crane, which is what landed Curiosity. Happy birthday, happy landing birthday, Curiosity and Perseverance. But like at the same time, yeah. Nah, not with a full system that can be tested here on Earth. Sky Crane, you can't test. You cannot.
You can't just send it to Mars and then hopefully it works and then take it back here to replace it if it doesn't work and then send it back out. You can't do that.
Well, not yet.
You can test.
Well, not yet.
Fair
They
point.
couldn't do that in 2012.
You can with Sky Crane you can test the individual pieces and then do it on the mission, which actually, considering what they were saying about the Space Launch System, I think they're taking that approach, which is bad. So yeah, I really hope they go for the second window. I really want them to knock out all the gremlins in that first window because as somebody I couldn't see it in the
Launch fever.
Somebody said launch fever. Going with that,
I'm looking
and
for it. I'm looking for it. You know,
yeah, no, launch fever is a real thing, and that cannot happen.
I can't
please no.
find the launch fever one, but this is a good. Actually, before there you go.
There we go.
Launch fever is risky and concur, right? Like
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Dada, what do you think?
I haven't been paying any attention, honestly. Been heads down.
Oh well, then you know what, you
good
can come.
reason.
Hang on, you can come up with any number, and it's just
What's
Between 0 and 100.
exactly.
what's their target date? August 28th or something?
29th.
That's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well, do you think you're gonna get the world's largest birthday candle?
Sure. If they've been escaping full tests, that actually seems kind of unlikely.
But you're saying sure, so that means that if it does go on your birthday, not only do you get the world's largest birthday candle, you also get some sort of award. We need to get like one of those cheap little trophy things that you get at like Universal Studios of like, best father sort of thing, and give him one of those. It's like, best supporting actor, like one of those really horrible, and just like we'll do a whole big presentation for Dada.
Plastic trophy with a cat on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we'll do a whole presentation.
Everyone's wanted us to do some sort of award show for tomorrow, so here's our chance. So
exactly
finally,
the SLS award shows.
Finally, we will give the people what they want, and you will learn why we resisted for so long. You will malicious compliance.
The Launchpad said teams are working some small issues. No details given, but nothing major based on briefing given this afternoon. Still on track to roll on the 18th with the 29th target launch.
Yep.
So, I don't know. So, yeah, they had a hard time getting through static, but at the same time, that's when you're supposed to find your issues. I think they learned a lot about their ground launch sequencer at that point. Also, they've been having a lot of problems with hydrogen valves, ground launch sequencing,
hydrogen. Just hydrogen.
Just hydrogen.
Just hydrogen is the whole.
So
hydrogen is sneaky.
It is. It's tough. So, you know what? I'm going to say no. I don't think they're going this month. I think they will go next month, though.
Yeah, in September?
Mm-hmm.
I hope so, too.
I think September's the time. Ryan, are you going to move your Psyche date to SLS date once it becomes a little more real?
No.
Really? Here's the Space Launch System.
It's a big rocket.
You might only have one chance to view it ever.
Big orange rocket.
Yeah.
Closest thing you'll ever get to watching a space shuttle launch.
There is a precedent. The last rocket that NASA launched, the last new rocket that NASA launched, they only launched one ever.
Yeah, that's. Well, hey, wait a second. Was it even a new rocket?
Semantics.
Time for us to get into that battle.
The launch pad will help host you. Join them in Florida.
Do
it. Do it.
Come on. Do it. Come on, Ryan.
All right, we'll leave you with that. You're wearing the shirt, Ryan.
I'm busy.
Ryan,
I'm busy.
You are a part
I'm
of the
busy.
Artemis
August
generation.
29th and all other potential SLS launch dates. I am busy.
Watching SLS.
Ryan, you are of the
I
age.
will be busy watching SLS on the telly here. Yes, exactly that.
Ryan, you are of the age that this program is so desperately trying to look hip and cool to. You
I know,
must show
it's
up.
funny.
Hang on.
Just call it research for your senior thesis.
Hang on. Does this program look hip and cool to you? Like, is this reaching your generation? That's actually a really good question.
It's reaching me. If you ask anyone else, they don't care. So
I'm not sure. Hang on, is that true? Because Launchpad, you're same generation. So same. Okay.
No.
You're Gen Z. Is that what this generation is? What
Me?
No.
Oh,
Ryan.
I don't know. I'm
Ryan, what's
like
your generation?
am I?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What's the current generation?
When's the one after millennial?
I think that's Gen Z, right?
I think
Is
that's
it?
Gen Z.
Okay, I'm that one then. I don't really care about that.
So anyone who's Gen Z in the chat room, do you feel that the Space Launch System speaks to you? Like, has NASA done a good job speaking to you with regards to the Space Launch System?
My personal opinion is that the new kids on the block, like SpaceX, are doing a better job at appealing to the younger generation because they're actually making new stuff. SLS, on the other hand, although is a really cool and exciting and powerful and epic rocket, it is just shuttle hardware which has been reformed and adapted for a moon rocket. It's 80s technology that has just been evolved. It's not brand new epic self-landing rocket stuff, which is what is appealing to the younger people.
Here's the problem. Dutta has a grid with regards to. So you're Gen Z, right? You're born in one of those years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial.
Are you really?
Yeah, like smack dab, 88.
I'm Gen
Right
X.
in the middle.
I'm Gen X, so I'm like, I learned what it was like before computers, and I know what it was like after computers. I remember the before internet times, and I remember the during.
Also
and after
before
internet
time.
It's
That sounds really bleak. It sounds like there's just like war
Actually,
everywhere.
no.
famine,
It was great.
actually no, it was nice.
the plague,
Yeah.
just riddling society.
I learned how I can read a real map.
Me too.
I know how.
Map. What's a map?
Right?
That's
I know
the app on your
I
phone,
actually-
right? And
I know
then
how to-
you put it
I-
it where you want to go.
It's a hard copy paper version of Google.
Hang on, this is
Yeah.
my favorite thing ever. I learned how to spell things using a dictionary, which when they're like, hey mom, how do I spell, whatever word? She's like, go look it up in the dictionary. But if you don't know how to spell it,
You don't know how to look it up.
Yes.
It's a,
like-
it's a major
So,
flaw there.
you wanna-
They should have thought that one through.
right? Yeah. So you want to spell a word like I don't know, something that's like a ph word, like
Fat. PHAT.
Spell phone.
phone, right? So you're gonna go to F.
F-O.
Right, you're gonna go to F in the dictionary, and you're gonna try to look it up, and you can't find it, and you're
Yeah.
never gonna think, oh,
There'll
that,
be a-
that would clearly start with a P.
There's a page there.
I'm just gonna let you know.
Nincompoop.
When
So-
when America decided to become its own country, you could have picked any language you liked. So I'm just going to put that one there, but you chose English. So
No, we chose to bastardize English. This is what we did.
you chose English and then ruined it, and then started blaming us for it. That's what you did.
All of that tracks.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Accurate
wrong.
statement. Accurate statement. And we're sorry.
Yeah. So I think, well, first of all, I could say within my outside of space friend circle, nobody cares.
Yeah, but they don't care. Outside of space, does anyone care?
About Artemis. So if I say, hey, are you guys going to watch the Artemis launch? Almost all of them are going to be like, what are you talking about? But if I say, hey, are you going to watch the SpaceX launch? People are going to be like, oh. I will have a actual reaction from people. with
Why?
that. Because SpaceX, and here's the difference to me in terms of what they've been able to do. SpaceX has put young people in front of the camera, and when you are younger, if there is someone who is of your age or in your generation, it is significantly easier to make a connection with that person. So
you connect with people that you feel you look like.
Yes.
You connect with things that are similar to
as
you.
much as we don't want to admit those kinds of biases, they do exist, regardless of how much we'd like to
I don't
say
think there's
with that.
anything wrong
So-
with admitting that bias. Like,
But
it's
no,
human
I'm just
nature.
saying that, with biases and things like that, that is a thing.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. It's just how it goes. So with Artemis, it doesn't really. There's no resonance with
I don't
our
know.
generation. And then
Is that true? Is that true though? Like when you look at the current PAO lineup, most of them are younger.
they are, but there's also another difference between SpaceX and NASA, which is watch a SpaceX launch of a satellite and then
I've done that a few times.
watch NASA coverage of a SpaceX launch of a NASA satellite. And you will know why there's a very big difference and why one can tap the cultural zeitgeist of a group of people and the other can sort of send people.
I obviously can't comment
away.
here, but yeah.
So you can't, but I could definitely. So
I'm just saying, I was just curious, right? Because, they are making an effort to reach out to, Zoomers effectively, right?
that doesn't mean that NASA is not like a cultural phenomenon, not a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, they are. You are both
are-
wearing NASA shirts today.
Yes, in terms of brand awareness, if you put a meatball or a worm in front of people, they instantly know what NASA is, what it does, and how they go about doing things.
And they're
You
slightly.
can ask someone on the street what NASA is, but you can't ask, and they'll respond with the Space Agency America, blah blah blah, put man on the moon in 1969. But if you ask a random person on the street, what's the Artemis program? I'm gonna say probably 8 to 9 times out of 10, they will not have a bonkers clue what you're on about.
I don't think that's fair. Let's do apples to apples. If you ask a random person on the street what the Starship program is, would they be able to answer?
I would say there's probably a higher probability of that, simply because
Really?
Starship has been in public view for a very long time.
I would argue Artemis has been in public view longer, or at least
but
Space Launch System has.
Where's the 8th or 9th 24-hour stream of SLS?
that's
and the
another good
VAB?
point.
The launch pad, where's your 8th or
Yeah.
9th?
Get on it. What are you waiting for?
SpaceX is essentially getting free publicity through all of the other media outlets such as NASA Spaceflight and La Padre, who are live streaming their site, because they're doing this engineering essentially out in the open in front of everybody. So it's free publicity, which means that the word gets out a lot better. However, NASA, their way is to do it behind closed doors and then tell us about it later, which is they're two different methods, and we'll see if they both work or not.
Dada, I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. You want to actually say it on air? If not, you don't have to. I don't want to.
Yeah, it seems more amazing to me that with all the new space companies, that the average age of the techs and engineers that are making all these rockets fly seems or appears to be much lower than it was in the Mercury, Apollo, Gemini days, even though it's probably very similar.
Gemini. Yeah, I think it's similar, right? Like NASA.
Yeah, I would
NASA,
imagine.
they had a lot of young engineers that came in with Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, and then they just kind of aged with the program.
Aged through shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, aged through shuttle, and then
It's like, as we saw like interviews with them and documentaries about these things being happened, the engineers naturally have gotten older, so we relate those programs with older people.
Yeah.
I think the thing about it is that if you look back on those programs, there was that sort of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kind of attitude about let's go do this, let's just make this happen. You know why? Because we're gonna go do it. That's why. And at a lot of the new space companies, the engineers and techs are younger, but they have that same attitude. So they don't have that tired look about themselves that you would end up seeing. I mean, honestly, if you kind of look back at the end of the shuttle program, and everybody does look a little tired. So they look like I've been here a while, They kind of have that look, that 1,000-yard stare.
Well, I mean,
that they're finally making it.
To be fair, there's people that spent their entire careers on shuttle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, there's
and that was it.
Program.
And reached
just
retirement
that.
age.
Just that
Yeah.
they started on shuttle and retired on shuttle.
Yeah. I mean, Dutta, you and I know people who worked on the Cassini mission.
Yeah.
And that's what they worked on.
Yeah.
They started on that Saturn orbiter mission in the late 70s, early 80s, and then they called it a career at the end of the mission.
That's been their career, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you absolutely can have a single program as your career. So it's possible.
Harry Stranger has a fun comment, which is Relativity Space has amazing public relations right now. Yes. I agree. I think,
Yeah.
But then on a similar and completely and totally opposite end of the spectrum, are y'all allowed to rip on Blue Origin? Worst PR in the industry.
Yep.
Worse than NASA.
Yep.
Completely missing the boat. No one cares about Blue. No one knows what Blue is doing.
They make better videos than NASA, but they're never live.
Barely.
Hey, did you know that on
Well, at least we can hear NASA TV streams. I'm just going to put that one out there.
Oh, did I miss one? Did they have an audio issue? Video is at 80%.
The start of the
audio.
NS22. The start of the NS22 stream was a bit more video focused. I'll put it that way.
I would give them a hard time, but I'm pretty sure I've done that before. On a Company X stream. I'm near positive that I've done something and then Reddit was like, hey, we can't hear anything. And I'm like, oh, God. Oh,
nudge, nudge.
Yeah, exactly. This fader. I'm sorry, Jared, you were saying?
Did you know that there were 2 astronauts on the Blue Origin flight that were the first from their countries to go to space?
That's really cool.
Yeah. Did Blue Origin throw that out there? No.
They are
They did.
horrific with PR.
Yeah, the first Egyptian and first person from Portugal. I don't know what you would call a person from Portugal. So
Portuguese.
Oh my God. That was the most American thing to be said on this show so far, in case you're wondering. There you go, Ryan. Again.
Portugalsian.
Portugal. Oh, God. Boy, do I feel dumb.
Portuguese. They're Portuguese.
Oh my God, the launch pad. They have nice, bright colored buildings. But my favorite one is That's a nice spicy meatball says, oh, it's all moving. They do have a nice half of a fairing. They make it easy for us to rip on them. They just make it so easy for us. Because they're not, like, I know people who work at Blue. These are crazy smart, crazy inspired people who will absolutely change humanity. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, but PR can kill all of your momentum.
Yep.
You
know, Jeff's idea behind Blue of getting
Jeff who?
Economy going in space, I think is how you're going to end up spreading humanity throughout the solar system. I cannot see you doing it just for the sake of exploration, unfortunately. I think it's a noble effort too. If you need a little blueprint for that, I always like to throw out. What are you smiling for?
Jeff who?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, good one.
You did that. I was like,
Gerard K. O'Neill's The High Frontier. So I always like to recommend that if people like want to catch that fire of like what myself and Jamie and Dutta and Ryan feel, that is a really good book to help you do that with. And yeah. It is such a great idea, and then their PR department gets in the way of everything.
I think it's actually gotten in the way of their sales too. Yep. I don't think they realize that it impacts everything. It starts with image and perception, and this is something that I think a handful of aerospace companies, the new space companies, do realize, and most of them don't.
Yeah,
and you can live in the shadows and secrets. I think a couple of companies that have got this wrong. Blue is certainly one of them. I think Astra is another one that's not doing it quite right. You can lean into mistakes. It doesn't matter. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Like,
or you can still say, never mind, we'll go make a new rocket.
Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah. All right. Is that it? Are we coming to a close? Anyone have anything else? Did you get all your stories? You're good?
Yeah, I got all my stuff in.
All right.
So I'll do some.
I felt like this wasn't
as cartwheels out of here.
This wasn't as derailed as normal. I feel like we should do something.
Just because you did it in the first 2 minutes through to me, and I put it back on the rails, and we've stayed on the rails ever since.
You know why? It's because you like trains. More specifically, the escalators that leads to trains. Exactly. Not the actual train. Just specifically the stairs or escalators that lead to a train. That is your shtick.
Did we talk about Mastin?
Oh, no, Mastin has declared Chapter 11, but
yes.
Chapter 11 is not Chapter 13.
No.
Right? So Chapter 11 you can recover from.
2 chapters before.
It's 2 chapters before.
So, I'm sorry. That's not funny.
And haven't got to Chapter 13
yet.
the
plot of the book is in Chapter 13, exactly. Like, that's where the twist is in Chapter 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But Chapter 11, it's basically that's a restructuring.
Yes.
Right? So they can figure out how to like pay certain things off. It puts them in a position where like they can do things to save the company. Chapter 11 does not mean that Mastin is gone. It just means that like, financially not great. There have been a lot of companies that have entered Chapter 11 and come out the other side. Iridium.
Yep.
OneWeb.
Yep.
I'm sure there are more.
I hope they make it back.
Yeah,
I do too. I have always been a huge advocate for Dave Mastin. I think what he's doing is absolutely incredible, and I think it's quite inspiring what he was doing and is doing as well. So,
Dave is also just an amazing human being.
Yeah, he is.
Period. Mm-hmm. So, there's some really cool stuff.
We should bring him back on the show.
Yeah,
he won't be able to talk about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's like he said, yeah, but UK, OneWeb had the UK government. Well, no, I mean, it's not like they went into it with the UK government. It's like the UK government helped them out of it, and this opens the possibility for...
The government saw an opportunity in OneWeb, and OneWeb were like, thanks.
Right, and so there may be an opportunity for someone to go in and swoop in and save and help Mastin.
Absolutely.
So this just opens doors for possibilities. Everyone looks at Chapter 11, they start to like, oh, and like, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. But
it's not a good look.
But
at the same time,
but you can come out of that.
Yeah.
You can survive that.
But
now, Chapter 13.
With the purchase of Mastin, though, you get a lot of there's a couple contracts that are pretty lucrative, and you if you can get their intellectual property and all of their history and all that would be a boon for a company that's got the money to back it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Heat Shield has another one tomorrow. Did you guys see BPS Space just landed a model rocket SpaceX style? He's been trying to do that for
7 years.
For as long as I can remember. 7 years, yeah. How incredible is that? Like, that's hard. That's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I covered it in Space News when we got the first image, and last week, as I was uploading Space News, Joe released the video of the landing. Like, as I was uploading the news, so it was a bit too late to include, but I did put a link to it at the end. So I'm gonna do a little bit on it whenever I come back for news. I don't know. We'll think about that.
Hey, that's a good point. So Ryan is out for a couple weeks doing stuff. I am out because I can't go into too much detail, but my role in space.
You have a job.
I have a job. My role at Company X has embiggenated, and so I've got a lot more stuff going on. Fun side effect of that is I no longer do anything with the public webcast other than walk by the room that I built. I've handed off all of that responsibility to someone else. And that person's on my team, so technically it's all still my stuff. But like,
so you're the boss of the job that you used to have, but
yeah,
you're
pretty
now
much.
You've just jump, and now.
Yep.
Yeah,
pretty
well
much. Meet the new boss. A little bit different from the old boss.
Oh, there's like double entendre there.
Yeah. I did have to change the lyrics.
One would say that I've transitioned to a new role.
True.
So anyhow, because of this, because I am traveling so much more now, and my ability to do any form of news or live shows is like, for example, I will not be able to be here for next week's live show, so I don't know what we're gonna do. And you know, it's not fair to Ryan to be like, Ryan, do everything for everyone all of the time. Thanks.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
great.
Sure, yeah, brilliant.
So
I have the time. It's fine. It's not like I need to learn anything.
Exactly. It's not like you have a life outside of this. I know, Jiggle Stuff.
This is Jamie's schedule.
That is my Twitter account right now. It's AOS LOS. But you'll know my mood. So if you see LOS LAX, loss of signal LAX, I'm in a bad mood. If you see LOS HHR, I'm in a good mood.
And you could figure out why.
I wonder why.
That's it's not even really an inside joke. Just Google HHR and LAX. Okay. Yeah, so if anyone wants to help Ryan out, so helping out, some things that Ryan can do is, you mentioned you can do voiceover work and get some scripts and images done, but if we have someone who can help edit, that would be great, because editing takes a lot of time. So if someone can help edit that media together, just be able to show. I did that for him one week, not that long ago, where I grabbed the still pictures of him being like, and it worked really. I loved that. I had so much fun with that. Unfortunately, I too will be out, so I cannot do that at this time.
And I'm gonna need about another 2 to 2.5 billion to get my James Webb Space News.
6 months out.
So
6 months out.
yeah, just 6 months out. Congress, please.
So if anyone wants to help edit, that would help a great deal. And then we are looking for additional hosts for news, right? So if you want to actually come on and build, it would be really cool if we had we'll call it 4 or 5 news hosts maybe. That way we can kind of if someone needs a break, but then ideally we'd release 3 news episodes per week, 1 host per day. So a Monday, I feel like I want to do Space Weather Wednesdays with Tamitha, because I like alliteration, right? Wouldn't that be cool? So have Tamitha on Wednesdays, and then have 2 other hosts on Monday, Tuesday, Undecided on Thursday, and then live show on Friday. So that gives you 4 or 5 days worth of content on tomorrow. But in order for that to work, I need more than just Ryan, right? So definitely still Ryan. This isn't in place of Ryan.
Yep.
This is in addition to Ryan. And so if you're interested in being a host for news, if you're passionate about space and don't mind building, and you don't have to go into these crazy 10-minute, 20-minute long things, but a quick little 5-minute update on maybe what SpaceX is doing, or what's happening down at Cape Canaveral, whatever the case may be. Just let me know if you're interested. Shoot me a DM, Photon Empress on Twitter, or Jamie at TMRO.tv. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, like it's a great community. We all have fun. We do this because we love doing it, and it's a passion project. And yeah, that's
Absolutely.
great.
100%.
On that note, speaking of passion project and because we love doing it, I also want to thank all of the citizens of tomorrow who helped make this show happen. What?
Thank you, NeuroStream.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's his. Well, NeuroStream is the Tomorrow Metal 33 Ply Pro Plus. Right. And then we also have our escape. So that is the top level. You get your own slate, and then escape velocity. We have many different levels. These are people who are contributing financially to the show, and financially matters a great deal because it costs a lot of money to keep the lights on, and it costs a lot of money to run the bandwidth for this place and like make all of this stuff go. So
somebody messed up the templates.
Oh no! What'd I do? I screwed it up.
This is orbital.
Oh.
This is suborbital.
So pretend like that image is hang on. I can probably wait. Hang on. Ready? I don't know if that's actually current or not, but like there you go. That's last week's orbital, or 2 weeks ago. Whoops. Anyway, I overrode your system. Yeah, exactly. Is that the
It's all right.
So anyhow, thank you to everyone who helps financially support the show. It goes a long way. Hopefully someday the shows will not be in negative dollars, where they lose money every month. That would be really nice. And then we can you're basically supporting the talent that helps make all of this happen.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, I'd like to thank everyone so much for watching. Oh wait, I have to. Yes. Yeah. Any final notes?
Happy birthday, Curiosity.
Happy birthday, Curiosity.
I'm about to be on Griffith Observatory's live stream.
Oh, that's really cool.
This evening. So
what do you do? When is that?
That'll be at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, which for those of you who are watching live right now, that's in about an hour and a quarter. YouTube.com/Griffith Observatory. GRIFF.
How is that going to work? You're not going to be able to get there in an hour and 20 minutes.
I'm doing it from here.
Oh, that's really cool.
Because I did that in June, and they really liked me doing the launch coverage, so I'm coming back to do the launch coverage. Also, you should watch because the guest tonight is Ken Carpenter from Space Science Telescope Institute. So talking about JW and some early results and other things like that. So if you're really interested in JWST, tune in. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I also can't wait for my little 10-minute segment that I get to host.
That's really cool.
Yeah, should be
fun.
All
right, I'll give one insight note, but we'll give before I do my insight note, Ryan, do you want to remind people of your Twitter account so that they can go follow you on Twitter?
I've got to wait for it to come back now. Hang on. Let's give it a minute.
Oh my god. I regret immediately doing this. Oh my god.
Me on Twitter at DPODDOLPHINPRO.
That was not worth it.
Done.
I regret doing that.
That was.
All right, so you have your cool little Dada, do you have any little cool tidbits you can talk about?
Nothing I can talk about.
All right. So you did your cool tidbit. You did your
sounded so like nothing I can talk about.
I can't tell you how excited I am for all of the things that are going on, but I can't talk about any of them.
So then the only cool tidbit I can talk about is now that I'm kind of in a new role that offers me the opportunity to have other people work on new projects. The one that I'm probably most excited about, well, it's all Starbase related, and so it allows me a really great opportunity to